Ontario PC leader Doug Ford is speaking right now at a campaign stop in Oldcastle. Let's listen in.
We're going to add one more member. Tony, you're coming to Queen's Park, God willing. Andrew and Anthony, thank you for all the work that you've been doing down there. And we're going to take Windsor West home. Folks, it's so appropriate. We started here at our campaign, and we're ending our campaign here in Windsor. You know, you just think years ago, when we drove through Windsor many, many years ago, it was quiet. Now, I've always said to people, no one has received more love from our government than Windsor has. And we saw it with a brand new hospital, and dirt's going to be flying. And LIUNA members are going to be the ones building that hospital right here in Windsor, and as well as Lausanne Parkway, Banwell, investment that we're doing in the EV sector and the reciprocal jobs that come with that, widening Highway 3, building long-term care, building new schools, and the list continues to go on. But again, folks, there's one thing that's concerning to all of Canada, and that's the reason I'm wearing this jersey here, to make sure that Donald Trump understands very clearly he does need Canada. He does need our critical minerals. He does need the aluminum and the steel and the energy. And the 1.5 million homes in New York, in Michigan, and Minnesota, they need our energy. As I say, we keep the lights on in New York, Michigan, and Minnesota, and you know, the governors appreciate it. There's only one person in the U.S. that I've talked to, and I've talked to a lot of governors. I've talked to a lot of senators and Congress people. More importantly, I've talked to the American people. No one agrees with President Trump declaring an economic war against his closest ally, his closest friend. So folks, we're gonna fight like we've never fought before. I'm gonna make sure we protect the families, we're gonna protect the businesses, protect the jobs, and we're gonna protect the communities. And we're gonna get through this. Over the last 7 years, we've seen over 1 million more people employed than we did 7 years ago. You know, Windsor used to be really, really busy 7 years ago. It was the previous government that were chasing all the people south of the border and businesses. All we saw is taillights heading to the Windsor border to employ people in the U.S. 7 years makes a big difference when you have the support of the unions, you have the support of the people. Look where we've come. Stats Canada came out yesterday and said there's over 1 million more people employed since the day we started. When you create the environment, you create the conditions for companies to come here and invest, and we saw over $70 billion of investment over the last 7 years. I give the credit to the people behind me, the people beside me. It's the quality of the people. There's no sub-sovereign nation in the entire world that has greater people than what we have right here in Ontario. Folks, on February 27th, I'm asking you to give me a clear, strong mandate to outlive and outlast the Trump administration. And again, we're gonna fight. I'm gonna fight like I've never fought before. I'm gonna be heading on a call very shortly after this with all the premiers. The chair of the Federation, I'm going to chair a meeting. We'll have the PM on, and we can't figure out where Donald Trump's going. One day he's getting the tariffs, the next day he's not, then he's going after steel and aluminum, then he goes after the automotive. He's all over the place, and as far as I'm concerned, it's mass chaos, and his own team doesn't even know what's going on down there. But we know what's going on. We're going to fight like we've never fought before. I want to thank everyone for their support, and I got to show you something. I always say, you know, Canada is not for sale, and Canada will never, ever be the 51st state. When we're watching the hockey game last week, and all of Canada had their televisions just glued to the screen, there was one person that stood out. There was many hockey players stood out. One person in the crowd that I absolutely loved when I saw his jersey, and I don't know who the guy is, but if you can give me a call, my cell number's on the internet, just give me a call. I'd love to meet you, because he said it all with this jersey. Never 51st state. And we will never be the 51st state. Folks, I want to thank you, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you so much.
We will now take questions from the media. Please come to the mic and state your name and outlet. Just a reminder, it's one question and one follow-up.
Well, we've been listening to Ontario PC leader Doug Ford speaking at a campaign stop in Oldcastle, sporting a new jersey, never 51st.